Um, and the recording is in progress. Well, welcome everybody, and we are super excited to welcome you all for our final Ellies info session. Um, so you have the weekend. You have the weekend to finish your applications. As you know, the due date is Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So please, please, please put all of your best effort forward. Drink that Red Bull, drink that, cafecito, and get going. So just a little run of show. I'm here joined by Ellie's winner, Aaron Jackson. Whoop, whoop. So we're going to talk a little bit about his work, his practice, how he started. And I'm also joined by my colleague, Laura Guerrero, who will be manning the chat. I encourage everyone to please mute, please, if you can. If not, we will mute you. So regardless, we have hosting capabilities, so we can mute you, but please, out of courtesy, do mute yourself. We are going to have open for Q&A after the presentation, so please feel free to, oh, and please mute. Please feel free to, you could write the question in the chat, or we can call if you do the hand emoji, and then we can call on you to speak. But that's not till later in this presentation. Other than that, I think we're going to get started. So quickly, the Ellies was founded and named after our founder, Ellie Schneiderman. We launched in 2018. This is our 7th year doing the Ellies, which is incredible. And it is essentially a grant for artists in Miami-Dade County working on a project. So this is essentially a project-based grant. So we do appreciate kind of, grants that support an artist's entire practice. But this particular grant, the Creators Award grant, is only really geared towards a particular project. So let's say, for instance, I would like funding for a project that I'm doing research on the sea level rise in Key West or some, I just made that up, sorry. But that's a particular project that is artist driven. So again, you can apply for, say, kind of your practice, as long as it's specific towards like maybe like an exhibition that you're working towards, a series that you're working towards. So again, that's project based. So the application will ask, what is your project? What is your idea, as they say? And what else? So yeah, we can kind of go into the logistics of the actual process itself, but it is through Submittable. It is a pretty easy application. We ask that you describe your project in 300 words or less. Full disclosure, if you go over 300 words, it's okay. And we ask that you upload 3 images that best represent your practice or your project. Again, it's a toss-up, that's up to you. And any additional kind of CV, video link, etc., etc. So all that being said, I wanted to put all my attention to Aaron.
What's up?
So welcome, Aaron.
Yeah.
So before we dive into your winning project, I did want to kind of talk about your history and how you got started. So am I to assume born and raised in Dade County?
305 till I die, you know what I'm saying?
So how did you even get into photography?
Wow. Um, man, I literally, it's been what, 11 years since I got into photography. Really, so I used to play basketball in high school. So I had got cut from the team like my 10th grade year. And then that was like kind of like a challenging year for me because, basketball was my life. So I had to really pivot, and figure out what I want to do with my life. So me and my cousin, we used to go on trips with my aunt to Georgia or Tallahassee and stuff like that. So my cousin put me on to Tumblr, and then I was like, wow, like seeing different type of pictures of like basketball players behind the scenes, rappers or musicians or just different type of travel stuff and all that type of stuff like that. And I was like, wow, I want to get into this stuff, like I didn't even know this was possible because at the time, I would only see pictures do like the news or stuff like that, and that's it, or TV, and that was it. So when I got back home, it was time to choose my classes because it was around spring break time.
Mm.
So, you know, I was not really feeling the electives. So when I was like going through all the lists, it was like a movie scene. I always say this, on certain scenes when they have like a paper and they go you see all these words and then you see the right word or whatever the case may be.
Oh, uh-huh. Like it bolded or whatever. Yeah.
That's literally how like I felt when I was looking through the classes because all the classes was whatever for me. So I saw photography. I was like, wow, boom, I gotta take. I don't know how I'm gonna get a camera or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna do it. So it was summertime. Fast forward to summertime, you know, me and my grandma, because I was raised by my grandma, and we was in the backyard. I was helping out with our pool that we have. Little Walmart pools that you get in Walmart and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaning it out. And I was kind of scared to ask her because, grew up middle class and stuff like that. So you kind of like, grandma got to pay bills. So you like, you don't want to, but I was like, man, I'm gonna shoot my shot, whatever. I said, grandma, I, I, I'm about to take a photography class and I think I'm gonna need a camera. So she ended up, she said, I'll see what I could do. So my birthday's in August. So it was like maybe like a month, a month after that, or a month and a half after that. And she woke me and my brother up. And cause my brother lives with my mom, but I stayed with my grandma. So my grandma woke me up, or woke both of us up, said, "Get up, we going to Aventura." I'm like, I don't want to go Aventura because she gonna take forever to shop. So I was, I'm like, I'm trying to be home, chill, watch the basketball game, whatever. She said, "Nah, get up." So she kind of forced me to get up and go. So we go on Biscayne. We get off of whatever exit and then get on Biscayne. She's like, "Look, we're going to H.H. Gregg and we're gonna get you a camera."
Oh.
And she surprised me a little bit like a week before my birthday. So
How old were you?
I was probably like 16, 15, 16,
Wow.
16, about 16.
Mm.
And I was just like a kid at a candy store. I didn't care what camera it was. Like, just give me a camera. And she said, "Boy, you better not break it." So ever since then, that's how I really got into photography. But the funny thing is, when I got to school the following year, they didn't even give me the class. So I had to fight. Me and my grandma had to fight to get
Oh
me.
my God.
So end up taking it, and then all it took was my teacher to tell me the settings, like the set like the triangle. If you're a photographer that's look,
Mm.
the triangle is the ISO, the shutter speed, and the f-stop. Once he taught me that, nothing else mattered. I remember that one weekend, I was just shooting everything around my neighborhood or just my house, and it was on from there.
Wow.
Yeah,
So shout out to grandma for essentially launching your career.
for sure, for sure. And then
So
and I'm gonna say
yeah.
this, as you get older, you start to think of little moments. Even prior to that, my grandma would always like bring like a little camera or whatever the case may be, and always make sure we took family pictures, even though you didn't like it.
Mm.
So I remember them little moments as I got older, and then even like she bought me a little point and shoot. But I was like, that's
Mm.
so. But yeah, there's those little moments.
Yeah. So then, growing up, like you said, you never really had formal training, but did you
Yeah.
have like teachers or people that you like looked up to as a photographer? Like, wow, like this guy is doing what, or this gal is doing what I want to do. Like anyone that kind of sticks out as you
Well,
were, during your practice?
well, at that time it was kind of challenging because, especially like a kid that grew up in the inner city like me, we didn't really have people that do that. So it's
Mm,
brand new for me. So luckily, my teacher, he would always introduce us to like different photographers from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s.
mm.
So the one of the few people that I remember was Salvador Dali, even though he's an artist, but he also did photography. So
Oh, wow, interesting.
it was Salvador Dali and some guy from France, I think Henry something. And then
Mm,
uh it was that, but then growing up, I didn't really have cable or internet. So it was just kind of like when we used to get internet, I used to make sure I'd be on the computer all day just looking through pictures. So luckily for me, a Tumblr will always give you like the photographer's name or the other certain type of.
right.
But the one photographer that stuck out the most was Van Styles. Van Styles used to photograph a lot of like the streetwear brands of like in LA and stuff like that, like the hundreds, Diamond Supply and stuff like
Mm,
that. Maybe it's not Diamond Supply, but mostly the hundreds. So his work was like mostly documenting the communities, and he used to travel, and he used to be sponsored by Leica. So he used to travel throughout the
mm,
country and sometimes throughout the world, photographing like the inner city cultures and stuff like that. I was like, wow, I never seen that from Miami. So I was always
mm,
like, I want to do that. So I started going, you start doing the South beaches downtown just to get your feet wet, but then you want to try something different, at least in my perspective. So I ended up just documenting where I came from in the inner cities and stuff like that, and then show the people that uh it's not what you think it is. It's a whole nother world on this side of the bridge.
mm. And
Yeah.
so how did you even find out about the Ellies?
Well, a lot of people have been every year, like Reginald O'Neill, that's
Mm,
my brother, Terrence, Roscoe, like them, they always been on my butt, like, yo, sign up, sign up. But by the time it was time to do it was already too late because I was always so busy.
oh.
So, but this last year was like, make sure you do it. And then Amanda definitely helped me. A good friend of mine, Amanda, our mutual friend, she definitely like, yo, I think you should sign up or whatever the case may be. And then I was like, okay, I got time. So let's actually sit down and really do it. I think for the people that's really like looking, I feel like all it takes is like a day or two, just, you know,
Mm,
lock in. Like that's really what it is. Our minds always be, but just lock in and just,
yeah.
figure it out from there.
So let's go into your winning project and we can talk about what you locked in, right? What was the locked in project that clearly got you an Ellie? So if you want to
So
share a screen. Yeah.
yeah, well, before I share the screen, so my project's
Yeah.
called I Don't Live Where You Vacay. I've been working on this
Mm,
project for years, like for about like 10 years. Like all my archive pieces, pictures of like the inner cities of Miami. So I kind of had the idea in my head in 2017 when I wrote my poem, my first poem
mm,
ever doing Hurricane Irma. And I was like, I'm gonna say this, and then over time, I figured out like, dang, I want to do a book based on the poem
mm.
and on my archive pictures and correlate all of it together in the book. So that's really the project. I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on 1 second. Can everybody see?
Yep. Everyone's nodding their heads.
All right. So, well, a little bit by myself. I'm a multi-talented artist. I'm a photographer, director, creative art director, and author based here in Miami. I'm really like my work is really about really more based off of storytelling. The reason I like storytelling because an image anybody could take a picture, but if you could take a picture of somebody and their element and make you feel like you're there, it tells a story within itself without even just displaying words. And I mostly specialize in portraiture, editorial, commercial work. I've been featured in Tobacco Free Florida, Miami Herald, Adidas, Rolling Loud, and a couple other record labels and stuff like that. And yeah. So about this project, I Don't Live Where You Vacay. It's an artistic endeavor that revolves around my extensive archival work, consisting of a collection of my photographs captured in Miami from 2014 to 2024. This project is driven by a deep-rooted desire to shed light of an often neglected facet of the city. Excuse me if I pronounce that wrong. One that remains concealed from the eyes of the visitors and tourists who have never witnessed what the true Black Miami culture truly represents. While Miami may be renowned for its beautiful palm trees and beaches, it's also home to countless individuals grappling with difficult circumstances, striving to navigate the daily struggles that life in the city presents. I Don't Live You Vacay is not merely a collection of images. It is a visual narrative that seeks to bridge the gap between contrasting perceptions of Miami and to inspire meaningful dialogue about the complexities of urban life in Miami and beyond. It is a reminder that behind the glamorous facade lies a vibrant community of individuals with diverse stories and aspirations. So right now I'm about to show you like a glimpse of some of the pictures. Now before I um show you this, I'm giving to you blood raw of what the project is. So don't feel offended at everything. Um these are some of the pictures. And Esther, you can feel free to ask me questions throughout the pictures and stuff like that. It's very brief,
Yeah.
but
Well, let's go back to the narrative. Is that the language that you use for the application itself?
yes, I did.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
a great example of a quote unquote winning application where it really, I mean, the writing is exceptional and it's,
But
it definitely shows, yeah, it shows the breadth of the work, right? And the project. Yeah. Go
and
ahead.
also like that's why I say lock in
You're
because
right.
figure out like get it like trying to figure out like different type of terms and try to make sure like you definitely want to make sure that you it sounds and even ask your friends like does it sound good, that's what I'm saying, those type
Mm,
of situations because I definitely had help as far as like putting the pieces together because it's yeah, like I don't come from a full writing background, but it's
right.
like you gotta like definitely try your best and lock in, you know,
Yeah.
a
No,
couple.
I mean, it's obviously well written because you won, but if you had to break it down, it's both very poetic, but it also is very specific.
Right,
So, again, this is just another 101 on what is really great writing, just
right.
to the point, but also like you're sharing like some vision of what it could be, with the language. So,
And then I also
kudos to you.
then I also, how I write, I like to paint a picture as I'm writing.
Yes.
So that's like another
Yes.
element I would advise people out there to, do. Because you kind of like,
Yes.
it's like whoever like let's say you're doing a book, you want the reader to really picture everything that you're writing. So look at it like that when you submit your application and stuff like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, let's see some images.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what it is.
Yeah, this is where you don't vacay, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. The other side. The other side.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
it's
these are where are these images shot?
so majority of these are from Liberty City, um,
Mm,
Overtown, Opalaka, Carroll City, Miami Gardens, even
mm-hmm.
a little bit of Wynwood before it was Wynwood,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Little Haiti, very brief like that, stuff like that.
And
Let's see.
how do you go about, finding your quote unquote subjects or people that are, I mean, these are community members, these are people, strangers off the street, or, neighbors, family members. How do you go about capturing an image?
A little bit of both.
Mm,
Sometimes I'm from these communities, so sometimes it'll be somebody that knows somebody, or just have my camera, or sometimes it'll
mm,
be like a mutual friend, or like it'll be a family member of a friend, and I want him.
mm,
I just end up seeing him, and I want to take a picture of him, or she. Sometimes it'll be an event in the neighborhood, and I
mm-hmm,
my camera and just document as much as I can. And it's kind of like, and then sometimes it be spur of the moment. It's
mm,
as a photographer, and anybody out there that's even trying to even kind of deal with photojournalism, you kind of can't be afraid to speak. You got to sound kind of confident because if you don't, they'd be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm,
and then some of these pictures, I'm even having conversation with them before I even document that. You know,
mm-hmm,
I want that to showcase that in my imagery. I don't want to just
mm,
that's going you're gonna see that in the image. You want to just make sure, hey, have a conversation with them and stuff like that, make them feel at ease. And that's what a lot of people. That's not just this. That's just photography in general. You want to make your subject comfortable as possible because not a lot of people like their pictures taken.
right.
So yeah, yeah,
Cool. You want to
yeah,
go to the next slide then? Yeah.
yeah. So again,
Yeah.
it gets blood raw, but uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but these are like some of the circumstances. That's what it is because like the young man that has the gun right here, he's no longer living. He was a young guy,
Mm,
and some of these people that you see is not here today. Um,
mm,
Unfortunately, due to gun violence, and it's sad. So I definitely want to definitely show people that this is what goes on that people don't get to see. Or not even just see. Know
mm-hmm.
about, So that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Just like the Miami culture that I kind of really seen growing up or just know about. So that's what
Mm,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for the blood
All
raw.
right. No, no, this is good. Okay. Well, let's move on to Q&A if anybody wants to put something in the chat. Um, Laura, my colleague, can monitor the chat. If anybody has any questions that they want to unmute and ask directly to myself or Aaron, don't be shy. Anyone? Oh, I
I
have
do.
one. Gloria? Yep.
Yes. I
How you
have a
doing, Victoria?
question. I have a question. So, I'm actually a storyteller, a cross-format storyteller. I was like, oh, look, I took a snapshot of the of your presentation. And I've been working in the last couple of years on a series that it includes film and includes a theatrical event, hopefully at the end an immersive event. But it started with a um, sort of an immersive art tribute that I did last year in Art Basel, and I have some images of that.
Mm,
But I have the
great.
presentation of everything that I want to do, including because it's a tribute to the Cuban and Haitian Americans who died at sea.
Okay.
And it's based on
Mm,
a play that I wrote that I want to sort of evolve into these different stories. It's a play about Peter Pan children. Um, but I had tried to do the Ellies in the past, talking about the project, but focusing only on the film. But I'm
mm,
not sure if, obviously I didn't get it, but I'm not sure if I can show them the presentation of where I want to go, but not necessarily pick one project. Does that make sense? Like, for example, though, I'm already speaking with Muse, where one of the stage presentations of like it's like a table read and a sort of a bigger
mm,
table read than the one I had. That's going to happening hopefully in the Hispanic Heritage Month, with
mm.
which is a local arts, group.
Yeah.
But I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and not choose one project because that happened to me previously where I presented the scope and they said, no, give me one project. And then I missed out because of the deadline. And I wasn't able to
Mm,
get the funding because I had presented too much. But then if continue to choose one, like I did last time, I feel like what I don't know. You tell me.
right.
I think that question
Well,
was
uh,
asked there. I think that was
yeah, I mean, I will say on the we get different juries every year. So we have artists apply for the same project every year and they don't get it one year, they don't get it the next year, and then magically they get it because the juries are very different. So I encourage you, if you truly believe in your project, apply every year because the readers are all completely different, right? So that's one point. Second point is it really is about the project, right? So what you just said about the Peter Pan idea of the Cuban and Haitian story. I mean, that alone, I was like, woof, that's intriguing, really
right.
lean into that, right? Because that's going to get me, the jurors, to say, I want to learn more. Like, this needs to happen. I always say the Ellie's projects are projects that it needs to happen. with or without an Ellie, you're still gonna do it because it
Right.
needs to happen. So I think just lean into that, and that point will get across to the jurors. Trust me, it will, you know? So I
Okay.
don't know, Aaron, do you have any other inside
Yeah, I'm glad
tips
to
or
hear.
advice?
Yeah, I think just make it more simple, like simple that they could understand it. I think I was like that too, because again, we have us as creative people, we have so much in our heads, right? Where it's like, how do I simplify my project into 300 words? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then also it's like it's films, and I shoot, videos, so I understand your perspective because it's so we I'm a visual learner, so or just I like visual stuff, so it's just kind of hard to put stuff in words. So I definitely understand. But I guess just my advice to you, just make it more simple, like more like, condense it.
So maybe
Hmm.
present the scope of the work, but say again, because the 50,000 would go toward either because you guys don't do it for stage. For example, there's an immersive event at the end.
Hmm.
50,000 is like a
Hmm.
drop in the bucket for that one.
Right, right, right.
It could cover some of the smaller functions, but are both sort of mixture of film and performance. So I thought that well, I mean, there's also an online tribute that I wanted to present. So I put the project so that they could see how the story could evolve into the different levels. And I started with we already did the tribute. We're working on the
Hmm.
sort of this performance of the play, but there's a tribute I can do online, that I thought of called The Year of 10,000 Stories, and then there's the film. So I don't want to say I'm going to choose the film and then the jury say no, no, no. We don't want to do film. But then I don't want to choose just the online because it's a smaller project, and 50,000 may be a bigger budget for that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think just shoot your shot. You just never know. You
Okay.
just never know. Just, I feel like, I tell people all the time, just shoot your shot because, you just again, you just never know. I feel like Esther was saying, the project, it already sounds, because Miami is a very diverse culture, and I feel like you just never know. Like Esther was saying, like it depends on the jurors. You know,
Hmm. It's
like I
true.
said, you definitely want to make it more brief. Make it more
Okay.
brief. The key word is brief.
Yeah.
Brief.
That's the
All
key
right.
word.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay.
Thank you so much. We have Zora or Zora Yay. Oh, you're on mute.
Right, it's okay. Sorry. Yeah, thanks so much for this whole session. It's really informative and helpful. I do have a question. So, for me personally, I want to get funding to do this large scale wallpaper installation,
Mm.
but I don't have a specific exhibition space in mind. So, could I still apply for that project even though I don't have a particular?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
Awesome. Yeah.
is that it?
Well, I guess I can like give some details about it too, is that it's focused on taking it's photo based actually, but it's not my
Oh,
photos. It's photos taken from the around 1700, 1800s of Caribbean women that were originally used
oh,
as a form of consumption to like view and send over to Europe. So people would be enticed to come visit the Caribbean. And I've created this design where I implement them inside flowers and braids that I've put together. And it becomes beautiful, but also a little bit ominous because you don't see the full figure. You mostly just see their eyes looking at you. So I wanted it to be like a way of like playing on the idea of consumption and putting the viewer inside the position of the one being consumed. So it's a whole, I have more for it, but that's pretty much what I want to do. I just don't have like a particular space for it just yet.
yeah. No, that sounds amazing.
mm.
Great
Yeah.
example. Great example. I mean, that's like really amazing. I've never heard anything, of that nature. So absolutely. Wow, wow, that's great.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'll keep that in mind. And I do have like a tester thing that I also made as well for it. So that,
Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
Okay. All right,
So
good.
Nice.
Thank you.
Alina was next, I believe. Yes.
Hi guys, thank you so much for all the insight. My name is Alina and I'm a sculptor. And I love kind of your presentation and how eloquent it was. And you were very in depth on your body of work and what you create. And you did mention that kind of your goal with the funding was to create a book. Were you able to realize that with the funding? And then I guess that's my first question. And second question, in your writing, it was really poetic and beautiful. And you didn't quite mention that you wanted to have, that you wanted to make a book more specifically in that body of writing. I might be mistaken. But did you also elaborate that that's like what you wanted to do with the funding?
yeah, I did. Because that was like some of the stuff I've taken. That's not really the whole thing.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I definitely elaborate what I want to do. I think some of the other questions it tells you what
More.
I'm trying to do. Yeah, based to my what I remember. But yeah, what was the first question? I'm sorry.
What was the first question? Yeah, were you able to realize your project with that funding in the way that you had imagined? Like you were able to make the book?
I'm still like I'm curating the book. I'm curating like the layouts and stuff like that, and it's going along, but it's a lot of work creating a book, I tell you. But it's definitely coming out how I wanted it to come out. You know, now after that process, that's when I'm gonna get to the printing and stuff like that, and go with some manufacturers and stuff like that, and figure that out.
So the project that I'm kind of working on explores identity through sculptures, and I've made kind of a body of work already that are prototypes of what I would like to do if I had kind of access to materials that I have more specifically in mind. But I guess like when applying, very similar to the first person that spoke, I don't want to be too specific where I'm only talking about one particular sculpture. But with the funding, is it kind of okay to explain my body of work and what I'm working towards this series? But more so with the funding, maybe going towards like one sculpture in the series.
Yeah, and full disclosure, the funding itself is just one of multiple funds that you can receive. So it's not just end all be all like, here, Aaron, congrats, you got 5 grand. You have to make the book with $5,000. No, no, no. You could seek other funding. So it just the Ellies is just one of many opportunities for you to receive. You know, and a lot of the experience of artists is that if you do win an Ellie, it's almost like a stamp of approval for other grants in Dade County and elsewhere to give you extra funds. It's like, I've received an Ellie for 10 grand. I still need an extra 10 grand. Can you Knight Foundation or any other found? And 9 times out of 10, they'll do it because again, we've done the pre-vetting, right? Saying it's already, so you just need an extra boost of funds to support your practice, support, you know, other artists to get involved. So don't think that the money that you get from the Ellies is like you're to only using that Ellies for that one particular, you know, stuff. So
Okay. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
no worries. Congrats. All right, next up I think was Katarina.
Hi. My name is Kat. My artist name is Stranger Cat. And nice to meet you all. This is wonderful. I have a couple questions. One, I was wondering for the work samples, it seems like the application is pretty geared towards showing past work, which makes sense, obviously. And I was wondering if I could or should include in that a rendering or sketch, a vision of my idea, because I'm doing a sound and light installation, and you don't need to get into the details of it, but I'm pretty excited about it. And yeah, I wonder if having a visual can add to the strength of it and where I would put that, or if that's not what you're looking for.
No, absolutely. I mean, I could, and this question comes up a lot because it's limited, right? You only have 3 image uploads that you can do for the application. And I want to encourage all applicants to really present your best work because again, the jurors have the entire summer to really read and investigate. And so if the work is stunning enough that they're like, oh my God, this is amazing, let me Google Katerina. Let me
Mhm.
do my own personal research, go on your Instagram page, go on your website, go on whatever, and really look into your scope of work. So
Mhm.
the images that you're putting up, I like to call it's the gateway drug for your practice.
Nah, for
Cool.
sure.
Yeah, so that's like the best example I can give is that you want the jurors to be like, that and they probably did that with Aaron's work because some of the images he uploaded was raw, right? You're like, whoa, this is intense. Let me go to
Mhm.
his Instagram account. And like, so that is really, what we encourage all applicants to do is like put your best foot forward. But if they do have renderings and it is compelling enough, then I also recommend you put that up there as well.
Okay. So just combine it in the work samples area
Yeah,
as one of the things or something.
correct.
Just yeah, and then I see a note just to that point before my second questions where I saw what Ulite Online just commented. It is helpful to provide a holistic breakdown or overview of the budget you'd like to request because it's like, um, for me because the light installation just requires a lot of technology that is, materials. I mean, I use sustainable materials in my sculpture, but there's an element of technology that is, has a cost. And
Yep.
I can do different tiers of it based upon the amount of budget I have. Yeah, so I was wondering where, because I was a little I was wondering because I saw that on the application there wasn't an area for a budget proposal. So, but now
Yeah.
I'm seeing that you do advise that.
I mean, part of the criteria, again, this is a little TMI, too much inside baseball, but part of the criteria of the jurors, how they rate. So there's different criterias, right, that they rate your application. And one is it, can this be executed? So if you are specific enough
Mm,
and it shows that you've done the due diligence
mm,
of like, oh, okay, this project is going to cost me 10 grand. I've already secured, 2,500 from, if it's almost like it's already half baked, then the applicant, or sorry, the jurors will rate high based on that criteria,
okay.
right? So if you say, I want to fly to Mars, that's a really great idea, but the actual execution of you flying to Mars is pretty nil. So then you would rate low on that criteria. So
Mhm,
it is an averaging, right, of all the
right.
different rating systems. So that is one criteria. And when you do present it doesn't have to be a very like detailed budget because we won't let you go there. It's not like
Right.
please upload an Excel spreadsheet. But
Oh, okay.
but if you do show that this is what it's going to cost and these are my thoughts, then it will help the jurors to rate you
Yeah.
high in that particular category. Yeah.
Right, because of course, to your point that you just made, like even obviously like knowing the technology involved and like what it costs is
Yeah.
like shows that I know how to do it and I've done it previously in different ways. And then my other question would be is how important is the venue for the presentation of the light sound install? Because like I am talking to a few different venues that are interested. But I feel like it would be most sensible for me to do the first iteration, like a prototype of it in in an empty room in my home, which is like my studio. Um,
Great.
and so do you think it would make sense for me to kind of explain that the prototype is going to be here, and then I'm talking to X, Y, and Z, these different um, galleries and yeah, and then the final presentation would be there or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's that level of execution, right? Is that
Mhm.
if you have a partnership already in place, like a gallery or an institution, then it shows the jurors like, okay, wow, like this project is going to happen with or without us, right? So let's push it forward. So again, it's not a requirement. Don't get me wrong. You're not disqualified if you don't have a venue to display your work. But if you happen to have conversations with venues about it, it
Mhm.
doesn't hurt to add that. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Robert was next. Hi, Robert.
Hi. So I had a couple of questions. The first was, I know Ulight's been investing a lot in like film projects and like the Love Letters and the Cinematic Arts Residency. I was wondering,
Yep.
is Ellies still a good fit for something like that, or are you guys looking for more like individual artist practices versus like collective filmmaking?
No, in fact, if you look at our past winners, we have a handful of every year of film
Yeah.
getting Ellie's
Okay.
winning. Yeah.
And then another one too was and this might just be a skewed example, but I know like since it's important to be a Miami resident, and a lot of what people have been talking about now is very geographically specific. Is that something that the committee's like kind of looking for? Is like Miami? Okay, cool.
Nope.
Okay,
But we
great.
love Miami,
Yeah,
right,
me
Aaron?
too. I mean, and the film would happen in Miami. It's just like it could
Right.
also be somewhere else. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Gloria again. Hello. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I got it. So just I guess I don't know if they answered the question here, but it says that you can submit up to 3 applications. So my question is, does that mean I can submit 3 aspects of the same, like there's 3 evolutions of the same story, or it should just be one, I mean, I saw your face, so your face is telling me no.
Unless it's so uniquely different. Like if the project that you're proposing lives it's like its own vertical, then possibly yes, right? You're saying I'm doing a play, I'm doing an exhibition, and I'm doing a film. Those are the 3 verticals.
Mhm.
Then you can preface it by this is the synopsis and this is the play. This is the synopsis and this is the film. This is the synopsis. Yeah. I mean, I honestly, yes, you can.
Okay. Perfect.
And again, you could apply for 20 projects. I mean, there's no limit
Oh, there's no
to
limit.
no, there's no. We're recommending 3 because you don't want to overkill yourself. But but if you have 20 amazing ideas, if you're one of those people that can't go to sleep at night because you just have so many great ideas, then you can apply to 20. There's no entry fee. So
I would also like say this to everybody, just make sure like you know what you're doing. That's what I mean by that is like making sure that okay, the project I'm working on, this is what I need. This is what I need. This is what I'm trying to get. So so you already like don't be overthinking, the things that you about to submit, or even if you do get it, you know what I'm saying, you're already full throttle already. Look, this is what I'm getting.
So I just want to,
Yeah.
before I forget, they're letting us do 3 or more separate applications, because last time, if I remember correctly, and I may be wrong, once I did the application and sent it in, it was like every time I would go in, it was the same application. Then once I submitted, I never tried to do another one. You mean I can actually create another new one?
Yep.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yep.
okay, perfect. Okay. Let me take how do I take my hand off?
Oh, take down your hand. I can lower your hand. Got it.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you so
Um,
much.
no worries. There's a question in the chat. Oh, okay. Oh. Laura's on it. The chat room guru is on it.
She definitely on top of it for sure. But
Aaron, I mean, give us your hot take, man. Give us your words of wisdom and inspiration for all of us to say, what is gonna take us over the line here.
I feel like don't overthink it. Like if you
In life, right? Don't overthink it in life.
That too. But if we talk about the application and stuff like that, I always tell people, like, yeah, just anything. Like, don't overthink stuff. The more you kind of overthink stuff, the more you're gonna go this way. You're gonna go left. Just no pun intended, but just really do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it
Yeah.
because I feel like, still have a plan for sure, but I feel like when you over plan, that's when you kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to.
Mm,
So don't overthink it. Y'all had amazing questions for sure. Like, I honestly, if I had all this, I didn't know. This use it as a resource. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even know this was possible, or Ulite was doing this type of stuff. Because a lot of people probably still don't know that we having this meeting. So I would say take advantage of this stuff that we doing today, because it could get you to the right door or the right room, or whatever the case may be. And then I'll also say, once you in Ulite, it's a family. It's a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of was already a part of the family because I knew a lot of people that's in the family. But once you're in there, it becomes a family, and it's all open arms. A lot of people are willing to help or collaborate, and I feel like Ulike, definitely we need Ulike for Miami or even South Florida, because growing up, I didn't know nothing about grants and stuff
mm.
like that. The art world wasn't as what it is today. Um, so take advantage, and it's definitely gonna help you, because this is a good resources on the art world, especially in the climate that we in society, and especially in Miami as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. Jade, we have a virtual hand up for Jade.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hello. First off, I want to say I'm such a fan, Erin. Love your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Love.
I have a couple questions, and actually, one of them just got asked on the chat. I'm born and raised all the way Dade County, but now I live in Broward. So like like all my address and stuff. Does that exclude me?
Sadly, yes.
I'm
I'm
sorry to ask
sorry.
Hey,
questions.
by the way, everybody, Jade is definitely like amazing photographer. She's one of one. So damn, it's just damn.
Oh, that makes me want to cry now. Okay, well.
I know, I'm so sorry. I know one day we're gonna expand, but due to the nature of the grant, we only award Dade County residents.
I like just moved back. Just moved to
Dang, so you need to move back to Dade.
Trust me, I want to tell these prices to go down.
I know, I
That's
know.
true. That's
All
true.
right
I
then.
know.
Well, just in case for
Sorry.
anybody else in that, I'm gonna ask my other question just in case anyone else is thinking it. So I'm also in for the future. I'm a photographer, but I'm a textile artist too.
Hmm.
So when it comes to having, I mean, that you could submit multiple projects. Can I submit each medium, or does it have to be specific to one?
No, you can submit to each different mediums. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
For sure.
Oh, Alina, you are raising your virtual hand again.
Sorry, actually similar to Jade, I live between two spaces. So I live
You
partially
should have
in,
said that part too.
am I on mute? Oh no, I'm here. Yeah. So I have my home in Miami, but I also have a home in Marco Island, like Naples, Florida, Southwest Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So I like live between the two spaces, and because I'm like an artist, I have studio spaces in both cities. Does that disqualify me, or do I still kind of fall?
So you are required, once you get to the next level, we are going to require you for a driver's license and a FPL or some, formal kind of. So yeah, so if it matches, it's like being registered to go to like public school. They're going to
Got
ask you for the same criteria. Yeah.
it. Okay, so I actually just renewed my license like last week, and I put the ad
Okay.
here. Unfortunately, so does that matter? I still have the old address that is on my other
If
license.
the old driver's license is not expired.
It's not expired because I just got it, so I think it
Okay.
could work.
Okay.
Okay, Awesome. I was really worried for a second also. Thanks for answering. I like made it by the hair of the chinny chin chin. So,
Yeah,
okay, thank you guys for answering my question.
no worries.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay, Zora. Hi.
Hi, do you guys have any other opportunities for those of us who aren't in the Miami-Dade space anymore?
Yeah, I mean, we do our studio residency program is open.
Mhm.
Our home and away program is open, which is our studio residency program, but away. So we send, we partner with other residencies throughout the country. But no, the Ellies in particular is very specific to Dade County residents, which is great, but also unfortunate especially for a lot of folks that left Dade County because of, like Jade was saying, the housing prices is just ridiculous. But all this is great feedback. Maybe, maybe in the future we open it up to South Florida. But yeah.
Yes, please. For next time.
Yeah, I know. All right, we're nearing our hour here. I don't know if we have any other burning questions for myself or Aaron, or anyone in the chat wants to ask any logistical questions in the chat.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, Mark. Hello.
What up, what up? I don't know how to do this hand thing. I ain't gonna hold you. But I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you so much for being another beacon. That's it.
Nah, for sure. I
Oh,
that's what's up. I mean, I like I was telling Esther today, um, when I won, when you win, it's like you winning the championship. I ain't even gonna hold you, like, because it's like when I got the award, think of I didn't think of getting the award for myself. I think about the people that haven't gotten it, and I look at them and like I mean, I want them to look at me like as this inspiration because at the same time, not everybody's going to get the award. It's only a select few, or not even, well, in a way, you can say select few. And it's just a blessing, the fact that, you recognized, in the art community, sometimes you feel like people don't see your work, or some people don't do this, some people don't do that. I feel like the Ellies is a perfect opportunity. Even the teachers, like even seeing the teachers in the other awards that was a part of it, that was just like, I think last year when I won it, it was like a older lady, that won. I forgot what the award was, top of my mind, but the fact that she was, been doing it for so long and got the award and got her flowers. I didn't even look at the grant, at the flowers. And coming from South Florida, where the art community is kind of it's fairly new versus like the other cities in New York, LA's, and the other cities around the world, where it's like, wow, we getting our appreciation, and ULA is definitely gonna give you the opportunity. So when you get this award, don't look at it as, oh yeah, I'm getting money, or I got this award. Look at it like people that haven't gotten or that's trying to get it, as they're looking at you as inspiration. Look at as far as like inspiration, and whatever project you do, it's definitely going to be, a stepping stone to your other endeavors, and that's really what I do it for. It's not even just for Ulite, it's just my life, my prophecy. I always try to inspire people to be the greater self of them, like, because in this art world, it gets tricky sometimes. You
oh yeah.
be mentally drained. You be like, man, I don't got the funding, or I don't got this, I don't got that. But I always use those things as lessons, or just like makes me want to go harder. So whatever you guys do, definitely be the inspiration to people around you, be the people the inspiration for across the world, because you never know who's looking. So whatever project that you want to do, just do it. I don't care if you got $1 to your name. Just do it. Figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Get some sunlight. We live in South Florida, where other cities, they ain't got sunlight right now. So, all those elements matter, so for sure. Make it do what it do.
Aaron, you should have your own podcast.
Oh,
Inspo by Aaron.
man.
We're gonna do two more questions and then we're gonna sign off because we're at our cutoff. But Katarina, yes.
Oh, hi. Thanks. I just thought of another question. And also, thank you, Aaron. Yeah, I just your work is beautiful. Also, I'm a huge Miami Heat game fan. Huge. And I do like sound prayers for the Miami Heat on my Instagram.
Hey,
um,
Shout to me,
um,
win the championship, you know.
yeah, I just followed you. So, um, oh, question. Like, I mean, do you think in some subtle way potentially submitting more than one idea like de-strengthens or not really at all? Like, because there is another idea that is also connected that is like pretty fully in motion of like with my more performance-based music and dance and light working together. So it's like a different side of my work, but also similar. Like there's some crossover. Anyway, I was just wondering if I should really just focus on the other one that I feel like is really just so right for this grant, or maybe just pitch both because then there's a chance maybe they like one over the other.
This is my 7th year doing this, right? And this is why I encourage people. And when I say this, other grants, you have to pay. There's entry fees. There's like $50, $20. So there is like a barrier of entry. We specifically made the Ellies very low barrier of entry, meaning it's free. That's why it's only 300 words. We really want to encourage non-traditional artists that they can apply. So in my experience, we've had our artists that apply for multiple projects, and the one project that like they kind of put the least amount of time into got it, which is like so ironic, right? But
that
they're
makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
and again, you just don't know because the jurors are different every year. So so I say yes, do it. It's don't kill yourself over it, but just do it.
No, I would never kill myself over my art.
No. Thanks. All right, the last question, Terry.
Hi, thanks so much.
Hi.
I had a quick question about the work samples.
Yes.
So you can submit up to 3, and because this idea that I want to do, it's for a body of new work that's very different from my past work. And I was wondering if it was better to just submit what is most relevant to the idea that I'm proposing, or would you just say strongest past work? But I didn't see where I would necessarily explain some of the past work. Like it would just, I feel like it would look very, very different from the idea that I'm submitting.
Okay, so my recommendation, again, you could take it for what it's worth. I would submit 2 of your best images, like that you like if you had to like show 2 images to like a curator that's like my wow piece, submit that, and then submit the 3rd image as a work in progress. And the jurors will get it. They'll and again, you want it so that they'll do their further research. The application is just the application. You want the jurors to get really invested in understanding your practice as a whole. And that's why they have the entire summer to rate and review. It's not just like you have a week, quickly rate. This is like a very strenuous juror selection. So that's my recommendation is 2 of the best in show, and then 1 of a work in progress. Oh, when do we find out? That's a really good question. You will find out after Labor Day. Did I cut you off, Terry? Sorry. Were you going to say something else?
I said thank you. Thanks so much.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, we're at time, but this was really great and super. I mean, yeah, you have a weekend. You have the weekend. to get inspired and put out your best idea. Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
No problem.
And
I
yeah,
hope
last
everybody
words.
No, I was just saying, I hope everybody, got inspired or, make them wanna, well, make them not overthink. I hope this all was helpful and resourceful. And I guess, feel free to, I guess, reach out to me, if you need like, encouragement and stuff like that. And, for sure. Yeah.
Go Heat.
Go Heat, go Dolphins, go
Go
Panthers.
Heat. All right, everyone. Thank you so much and good luck.
For sure.
Bye.